What's up, people? Okay. All right. So I know we don't have an official live well or anything going on tonight, but that's okay. No big deal. Um, let's see. I'm gonna go sideways. Yeah, go sideways. All right. Okay. So no in studio live well or anything like that tonight, but I'm sitting here in my basement, and I just was wanting to interact with you guys for a little while. Um, I wanted to talk about some things that um, we we generally we generally don't talk about on the live well too much. But anyway, I'll take a sip of water there. What's up, Jennifer? For Her Outdoor Apparel, one of our fine sponsors. We appreciate her. She's a great lady, and we appreciate everything she's done. And she's become a good friend to us. And all by myself, Corey said, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. I'm all by myself. Everybody gets to go have fun, gets to go out of state, gets to go do other things, and I'm left stuck here. But the reason why I'm left stuck here is because I have a 2-day tournament this weekend on Lanier. So um I choose to stay. Just put it to you like that. So matter of fact, I'll use my D-Walk there. Yeah, sure. What's up, Derek? How's it going, dude? Um, so yeah, there was appreciate it a lot. Um, we're going to be, I'm going to be trying to fish my butt off this weekend. It's a 2-day classic, so we'll see what happens. But don't expect to win. I never expect to win, but I'm gonna try my best. We're gonna do. Me and Bronson are gonna try to do the best we can. So, what's up, John? Scratch. Yeah, this is our club classic for one of the clubs that I fish in. So, I'm extremely excited. um, I always like 2-day tournaments. 2-day tournaments are fun. They're real exhilarating to me. It's you get a you get the first day to kind of gauge what you have, and you get to gauge what everyone else has, and you get to pretty much figure out, hey, you get to take your game plan and kind of either keep going with it depending upon how well you finish up in the first day, or then you can say, let's go swing for the fences and try to ball out and see what we can't catch. So they're fun. I really like them a lot. And it's just, I don't know. I've never not missed a 2-day event in a club format. I've always fished both days, and it's always been a blast. I love it. Last year we finished fifth out of, I think, 20 boats or something like that last year in this classic. So this time of year is you guys know I'm a top water freak, and I love throwing top water and stuff like all day long. But this time of year, I really like this time of year, fishing wise and tournament wise, especially. It's I like catching fish this time of year. You can find them stacked up. You can catch a bunch of them out of like one little spot, little location. It's really, really fun. And this and the way that you catch them, is really fun. And all in all, just this time of year it, I like it. There's really not else really I can say about it. What's up, Kurt, Scott, George? What's up, Buddha? Hey, Dylan. What's up, dude? So the first thing though that I really kind of wanted to talk about, and it's a touchy subject to say the least, but I really kind of followed it along pretty hardcore yesterday while I was working at the store. I was paying a bunch of attention to the comments, and some of you guys that probably know when I say this, y'all are probably going to know what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. So I am talking about Brian Latimer's post that he made yesterday on Facebook. He made a post yesterday about talent. And there was some great comments that were made by people. What's up, Ron? There was some great comments on his Facebook post. If you own Facebook, go look at and you're not already following him or whatever. If you are, you've seen what I was talking about. Feel free to. Part of this thing is to you can weigh in on this. I want to hear those of you guys' opinions on this, because I certainly have my opinion on what he said yesterday. But he was basically talking about how no one has, in a nutshell, basically it was like no one has God-given talent. No one, every bit of things that people work for and work at are earned, and they work for them. Nobody just has things handed to them. Nobody just naturally just achieves things. And 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 I think the way he was wording it, I think he was kind of talking in the fishing world. I think he could. You never know with Brian Latimer. What's up, Byron? How are you, buddy? But anyway, he's what he said, and there were some people that made some really really good comments about it, and they made some very very good arguments for what he was saying. But the majority of the people made arguments against what he was saying. And as I kind of paid attention to it yesterday and followed it along, I was kind of raising my eyebrows at some people's comments, and then I was laughing at some people's comments, and then I was agreeing and I was disagreeing with people's comments, because I pretty much pay attention to the post all day long. So with that being said, if you need to take a second while you're here watching, go over to Brian Latimer's Facebook page and look at his post that he made about that. And you can kind of judge for yourself if you didn't see it. But I didn't make a post. I didn't make a comment or anything on it. I wasn't going to. I comment on what I want to comment on, and I don't go running my nose into everything that I see on social media. Brian Latimer, Buddha, he is we weren't going live, but I put a poll up and everyone was like wanting to talk this evening. So I'm at home, as you can see, and I just decided, for fun, we may go an hour, we I don't know, we may go longer. It just all depends, but kind of want this to be as interactive as we possibly can with you guys. But Brian Latimer is an FLW guy, or what, a MLF guy now. He's from South Carolina. He's a very good fisherman, but he can be edgy at times. And yesterday, from what I seen, when I seen it, I was kind of like, oh, I was like, whoa. Uh, Ralph Young, good luck this weekend. We have our classic at Russell Saturday. Awesome. Good luck to you, buddy. Hope you do well. Um, really hope you do. But when he said what he said, I was just like, whoa, like, are you really going there? And when people, like I said, you can go back, you can go right now if you need to, jump off this thing real quick and just go over to his Facebook page and just go read it or whatever. Or if you can move the screen up, you can still hear me talk. But, I, you know, just go read it. And he replied to a bunch of people. I mean, for a guy that's as busy as he is and has as many people that follow him as he does on his Facebook page, his social media pages, he was replying to a lot of people, and it was getting some of his responses that he was giving some people was wow. I mean, I was like, whoa, I was like, I can't believe you're saying this back to those people. So to get to the point on my opinion for what he said, he basically, like I said earlier, and if you go back and read it or whatever, he basically said, no one is born, just no one is basically born with it. Whether he was talking about fishing, whether he was talking about other things, um, you know, that's left up to interpretation. I personally disagree with him 100%. I disagree with what he said 100%. Um, there are some people, you know, some of his arguments that he were making was just kind of like, what? Why are you going there? Why are you saying that? Um, but my point of what I say is there are many people, men and women, boys and girls, uh, however you identify. Um, some are just born with better abilities, natural given abilities to do certain things that are just better than other people. Um, you know, me, I'll use myself as an example. Um, all throughout school, growing up throughout school, um, geography, world history, U.S. history, I never needed to study that stuff. Uh, I could look at a map and I could tell you where countries in Europe was. I can memorize just very easily the capitals of South American, European, African nations and stuff. Um, you know, and what Derek just said is, I'm going to actually, Derek, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. I am going to get onto that. What Derek O just said. Yeah. But I agree. I agree with you 1,000%, Derek. But what I was going to get to that. But as I was growing up, there were some things that I didn't have to, I didn't really have to study. I didn't really have to work hard at it. It just naturally just came to me. Um, you know, uh, Math was something that came relatively easy to me. Um, in terms of math, though, uh, geometry and trigonometry, I never really had to study very hard at that. I would learn the week's lesson and we would take the quiz, and, we would have tests, every other week or 2 weeks, and I wouldn't really study too terribly hard, and I would do fairly well. Could I have made straight A's in it? Yes, but I knew I didn't. I knew I didn't really at the time. I didn't really need to, and there were some instances where I made A's without trying. There were some instances where I made B's and I probably should have tried a little harder. Um, but that's in the past. That's here nor there, and that kind of goes back to what Derek was saying. If I would have worked harder at it, just personally, with just the natural talent that I had for history and geometry and geography and world history and trig and stuff like that, I probably would have made straight A's. I mean, I'll divulge a little bit. I won't go into no huge details into it, but I had a teacher in high school who I took. For those of you guys who know or know about it, I took two advanced placement classes in high school. I took advanced placement world history, and I took advanced placement U.S. history, and I was in honors economics. Um, Advanced placement world history. They grade the scale when I was there at the end of the year when you took the test. It was a 1 through 5. You had to answer multiple choice questions. You had to write an essay and stuff like that. And the first one, AP World History, I got a 3 out of 5. Um, in AP US History, I scored a 4 out of 5. And to make a long story short, the AP US History teacher always had study sessions. She always had stuff at her house. Her daughter was in the class, and we would get together over there at their house, and they would do all kinds of stuff. Um, you know, Studying wise for AP US history. And I never showed up to him. And I made it a 4. It pissed her off. It pissed her off royally because she told me straight to my face before we went to go take the test at UNG. She's like, "You will not pass this thing." And I was like, "Watch me," and I did. I made a 4 out of 5. And so, with that being said, though, without going on to a big, long term tapered rant about it, um, you know, some stuff comes easy. Some stuff people are born naturally with it. Some people are able to just pick up things faster. Some people physically are able to do things better than other people. Um, on the professional athlete scale, in my opinion, the professional athletes work hard. They work extremely hard. But I compare it to this. You have, this is your this is your student athlete that played football all throughout from the time they were a kid, all the way out to, through college or through high school. This particular college athlete got a full ride scholarship to the University of Georgia. They were one of the best high school players to ever come through their high school, hands down. They were bigger, they were faster, they were stronger. They picked up things faster than anybody and everybody else. They worked hard. They worked out hard, and they put their time in. But naturally, they had better ability compared to this person here. This person was also very talented at the same high school. This person was not as naturally gifted as this person. This person got a full ride scholarship to a Division II school to play football. This person got a full ride scholarship to play at the University of Georgia, for example. What is the difference in these two? They both worked hard. They both worked their ass off. Just put it to you like that. They both did. But this one had better raw talent. This one did not. My argument against what Brian Latimer said is, he said that everything is earned, nothing is given. Well, if you can, let's bring this back into fishing. If you can pick things up faster on the water, if you can um, adapt when using a bait um, better than the average person that you may fish against or fish with. You know, some people, when it comes to certain things like shaky head fishing, jig fishing, jerk bait fishing, um, they just have it better. You're starting to see some of this in some of the high school game where there's just some of the kids that are really, really young. They don't have the experience, and I'll use myself as an example. The 15-year-old doesn't have nowhere near as experience fishing as I do. They don't. The 15-year-old, and I'm just going to use myself as an example. The 15-year-old boy or girl does not have the same experience that I have seen. They have not seen as many winners as I have. They have not been through the many different conditions as I have. And yet, they are good enough naturally with natural ability that they can beat someone like me on a much regular basis than I can beat them. Is it because they work harder than me? Maybe, maybe not. I spend a lot of time on the water. You guys know that. You guys that watch me, you guys know that I spend a lot of time on the water. They're in school. They get to spend some time on the water. They haven't experienced as much as I have, but they're able to beat me on a weekend tournament. Doesn't hurt my pride, doesn't kill me anything. All I see when I see that happen, and my personal reason, when I have 13 pounds and they show up with 16 pounds, I'm 31 years old. They're 15 years old. They beat me. Good for them. I'm proud to know them. But they're better at it. They pick up things faster. They have arguably a naturally born more talent to fish than I do. Want to go back here and look at some of the comments because you guys, I appreciate you guys' interaction while I was ranting there about this thing. Byron Hendricks, I graduated in 2010. Raising multiple kids will prove how different we all are and how each is born with naturally born talent. 100% agree with that, scratch fishing. 100%. Tyler Meanix, I can't speak to athletics, but I've met several MIT educated NASA NG engineers, and they are on a different level. They're natural leaders, just genius and hard workers. Exactly. The key is finding your natural talent and work hard to perfect it. Point being, without the want to, all the talent in the world is nothing without effort. People say what he said. Think far too much of themselves. Prideful. Green Gorilla Hunter. So take KVD, naturally gifted, but has slack in his old age. Work ethic, or other people have more talent. I have my KVD. Opinion. Green Gorilla Hunter. I'll give it to you in just a second. If they've never played the piano, they're not a piano player. Sometimes it just depends on who your daddy and uncles are. To a certain extent, yes, that is true. That helps a lot. But in a high school situation, your daddy and your uncle, they can't set the hook for you. They can't catch the fish. They can't make the cast for you. You have to do it yourself. The high school kid has to do it themselves. If they never played piano, natural intuition. That's a good way of putting it, George Smith. Back when Tyler was saying, if they've never played the piano, they're not a piano player. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But going to what Green Gorilla Hunter said about KVD. KVD, he said that KVD has slacked off. And I don't 100% agree with that. Kevin Van Dam is arguably still one of the greatest fishermen to ever live. However, Um, some people say Jacob Wheeler. Here's the thing about Jacob Wheeler. Jacob Wheeler was taking everybody's money at a high level at age 19. He got it. He was born with it. The minute he could take off and go on his own and fish BFLs on his own, he did it, and he was winning. He won a FLW Cup. He was one of the youngest to ever win an FLW Cup right here on Lake Lanier. I don't know if he was the youngest, but I think he was one of the youngest to ever do it. He has won Red Crest. He has won other events. He's won Bass Elite events. He won that first ever the Bass Fest on Lake Chickamauga. He won the first ever one of them. Beat the likes of guys like Kevin Van Dam, Russ Lane, some of the other ones. Kevin Van Dam hasn't slacked off. Kevin Van Dam proved to us one of his last years in the Elite Series that season that when he wants to and you anger the giant that is Kevin Van Dam, he'll kick your teeth in. Because that last season that he fished, it was either the last or the second to last season that he fished. He won on Toledo and he won on Cayuga. To win one Elite Series event is hard enough. He won two. That is stuff that only people at the likes of Kevin Van Dam himself, Jason Christie, a few other guys, Brandon Polinick, Jordan Lee, guys like that who have won multiple major events in 1 year before, in one fiscal year of a season on a professional bass tour. 100%. I'll say this about KVD, like Fishing USA said, you don't want to fish against him. No, you do not. What's up, Drew? How are you? So someone like Tom Brady, just for example, isn't possible. So getting to the point of like what Brian and Tyler is talking about, someone who is just, okay, it's hard pressed on a professional level, no matter what sport it is, to find someone who is ultra good, who doesn't have underlying talent, who wasn't, when you talk to people that knew them when they were young, it's like they were able to hit a baseball farther and harder than anybody else naturally. They were able to throw a football. You can't, no matter how hard you try, you can't train someone to run a 4-flat 40. If you can't do it, if you can't run that fast, you're not going to be able to run that fast. There's no amount of training. You can improve your quickness by doing agility drills. But if you can't run a 4-flat 40 and you were running a 5-flat 40, you're not going to just improve 1 second just by working harder than someone else. I believe everyone is as fast as they're going to be. I believe, especially when you're young, some people get faster. Some people, improve. But do they make leaps and bounds no matter how hard they work? Not all the time. It doesn't always work that way. Certain millionaires, talking about what Tyler Meanix just said, there are certain millionaires, they just know how to run a business better than you. They just have it naturally right here, better than the average person. They become millionaires, billionaires, whatever. Is it fair? I mean, you can argue it however you want to argue it, but I mean, to say that there is no such thing as someone as naturally talented, gifted, that there's no such thing, that's just asinine to me. That's just the way I put it. It's just asinine. Um, there are people, in my opinion, and I've seen them. I've played sports against some guys um, that they just had it, man. The ball left their hand. The ball hit the mitt in baseball. When it hit the mitt, it sounded different. When the ball came off their bat, it sounded different. I played baseball and basketball and stuff with some guys that worked their ass off, and they were the best players on our team. But the ball didn't sound like those guys did when they threw it. The ball didn't explode off those guys' bats like other guys did that went on to play college ball. And even at that level, a bunch of those guys that went on that I played against that played college ball, they didn't even make it, man. You know, Lumpkin County, for example, I'll use Lumpkin County for example, where I went to high school. Ryan Turner is probably the greatest athlete to ever go through the school system to play baseball. He made it. He went to Georgia Tech and played baseball. He was a pitcher. He got drafted into the majors. He lasted in the majors like 4 years. He never, ever got the call up past double A. He was the greatest player around here. And he worked all the coaches that you talked to, the dude threw every day. He took hitting practice every day. Rain, sleet, snow, heat, sun. He worked his tail off, and he still didn't make it all the way to the majors. He didn't make it to the majors, as he told me, because he became a substitute teacher while he went back to school at North Georgia to get his teaching certificate. There was players that were just far superior than me. They were just so much naturally more talented than me. That's coming from someone who experienced it firsthand. That's all I'm going to say. Um, so Brian Latimer, I disagree with you. The guys who are there are multiple examples of guys who have it and did not utilize what they had, and they wasted what they got, and they are to this day still wasting what they got. There are guys who don't have anything, who had a desire, who worked their tail off, and they never made it far enough. But then there are guys who had it, worked hard, and made it far. It's proven that some are smarter naturally than others. However, not all geniuses are elite. Some are mass murderers. Listen, we're not going to get into this big long spiel right here about, who's this, who's that, who's done that. We're not going to talk about the difference between mass murderers and geniuses. We're just not. Um, you know, I think a comment was made about Robert Oppenheimer. Listen, put yourself in their shoes, see what they had to do, make the assumption from that land. We're not going to get into a debate over nuclear fission. So let's be the end of all that. Brian Latimer, disagree with you. Now, some things that are coming down the pipe. This past week, Tuesday, myself and Jason Sayers with J&S Contracting and Elite Pressure Washing Landscape, one of our sponsors of the live well. He fished with me Tuesday. It wasn't easy the first couple of hours. As the afternoon rolled around before that major front came through, which Tuesday night we all know was 2.5 to 3 inches of rain, depending upon what part of North Georgia you were at, is where it got dumped. As the afternoon rolled around, they started biting. Those of you guys who watched, the quality started biting later towards the end of our video. We were, I caught almost a 4-pounder on crankbait. We caught several over 2.5, between 2.5 and 3 pounds. Good quality fish. The better fish started biting. The fun fish, they started biting. I call anything over 2.5 pounds a fun fish. And that was what started biting for us. I think we ended up catching like 10 or 11 fish. But the majority of our fish catches came within the last 3 hours as we got around lunchtime. I seen some posts later that evening from people who were on the lake Tuesday that the afternoon bite at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon was amazing. Well, that was before the rain came. That was well before the rain came in. So the change in barometric pressure really dictated that. And some guys went out there and slugged on them. Emil Wagner, he slapped on them. Jeff Gravely with Softy Lure Company, he said that they bit good for him. If we would have stayed out there longer, we probably would have found some more quality fish to bite. But Jason lives down on Oconee, Sinclair, and I wasn't going to keep him out there all day long. He had a 2.5 hour drive. Byron, who's watching, you guys are going to be on Lanier this Saturday. You'll be taking out the same ramp that we are. He was trying to. He really was. I showed him a place to start at Saturday mornings. Sorry, Byron. But what Kurt Weha says, I believe there are way fewer elite talents in anything, but football, baseball teams are filled with hard workers. Yes, there are a lot of hard workers, but the problem is that those guys are still better than everybody. Even to make the professional level, those guys are still the greatest ball players from the area maybe they grew up in. So, but we're off that subject. I'm not going to talk about that subject anymore. We've spent 30 minutes on it. Tyler Minix caught some small spots on the point on Shaky Head, had to go home and ask the Lord for forgiveness. Fishing been tough for me lately. Fishing has been tough. Mr. Kevin Underwood has described it the best way that I've seen it described. Me and him had a conversation and over Thanksgiving, and he said, they're scattered. They're everywhere. One day they're doing this. The next day they're doing that. Kevin said, pick a couple things, keep them in your hand, cover water. As his said, that was his best advice to anything. Our classic goes out a Little Hall Saturday and Sunday. So, Kyle Welcher, I think him and Byron are actually buddies. So you'll have to ask Byron what he's doing up here. But fishing's going to get better. It's going to improve mightily. The main thing is just this, I consider myself a common guy. I consider myself a common angler. I'm not great at one particular thing. I'm no stud. I don't walk around with 18 pounds in my back pocket. I certainly do not. Like some guys do. It's going to get better, though, with stable water condition. You got to think, guys, Tuesday. Let's take Tuesday, for example. We started the day out. It's like a spring day. It's like an early spring day. We started the day out and it was 38 degrees. By the time me and Jason got out, it was 68 degrees. That's a significant change in temperature, in air temperature. Um, it's when until the temperatures and stuff really stabilize and we have a consistent weather pattern going on for multiple weeks in a row, not a few days, multiple temps in a row, like sea fishing right there, huge temp swings. Absolutely. That dictates a lot this time of year in the winter, just like it dictates in the spring. We all know as fishermen in spring, go fishing in spring when we have multiple days in a row where the air temperatures creep into the low 70s. The fish get moving. The fish move and during that time. It's the exact same thing that happens here in the fall, late fall, and early winter. It changes things, that changes the fish's behavior. It changes patterns. One minute they're doing one thing, the next hour they're doing something completely different. And it's hard to pattern. It's hard to stay on top of because everything just changes from day to day. Um, Georgia weather, just wait a few hours, it will change. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is 100% correct. What Kim Burke said. There's so much variance with things that have been going on the past few winters here in North Georgia specifically. Um, Last Christmas, we had temperatures in the upper 50s. It looks like right now it's going to be the same. The water temperature's slowly falling, but Tuesday, Garmin said 56 degrees. I mean, what can you do? All you can do is find bait, fish around bait. You can do some of the things that I've been trying to do, and you can fish what the fish should be doing. What do you think the fish? What do I think the fish should be doing? You can use that for yourself. What do you think the fish should be doing? And you can try to fish it. Does that mean it's going to be working? No, not necessarily. More times than not, the way the temperatures and the way everything is right now, most likely not. Tyler Minix there. Speaking of variances, I'd like someone to come on Live Well and talk about how our lakes have changed over time and where they're going. West Point, I remember as a young lad, ain't around now. Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with change over time. Lanier, you guys have heard me say this, Lanier right now is at that plateau. It is at the mountain peak right now. It's doing this right now. It's just things are good. Things, the size of fish, the quality of fish, the weights that are weighed in, they're staying there. Look up tournament results. Look at guys like Scott Barnes's tournaments. Look at guys like Alex Prince, Paul Marks Jr., Emil. Uh, Look at LJ when he posts pictures of stuff. It's what Tyler said right there. Lanier's amazing. In 7 years, who knows? 7 years, Lanier might suck. My opinion right now, we'll see. I'm not saying this is for sure. I'm not saying this is law. My opinion right now, Altoona is doing this. It's coming up. 90s West Point. Now, I don't know if you're ever going to see 90s West Point ever again, Tyler. It's going to be hard to say. Um, I have two friends. Here you go, Tyler. I have two friends that fish West Point nearly every week. Lips are coming back. Lots of 2.5 pounders again. 2.5 pounders again. That's a good thing. Will those 2.5 pounders grow up to be the way they was in West Point? No telling. I can find myself starting from scratch every time out. Hard to predict these days. Last week, me and Steve, perfect example. Me and Steve won the tournament that you guys got to watch us fish for a few hours. We won the tournament, but we didn't figure nothing out until 12. I mean, Steve caught a good one on an underspin on a Sugar Hill bait sweet spin. I caught another one on a ditch digger. That was all we had. You know, the things that were going on last Tuesday was just, what do we do? Where do we go? And Steve said, I'm going to put what I got confidence in when I feel like I can catch fish on. That's a shaky head. He put the shaky head in his hand, the Sugar Hill bait shaky head, 1/4 ounce. He went to work. I kept throwing a jig. He beat me 4-0. I mean, to have the day that we had last Tuesday, as some of you guys watched, me and Steve, when we started out, or the first couple hours, it wasn't looking good. Me and Steve cold. Steve caught the last fish of the day, and it cold. And it was enough of a cold for us to win. 3/16, Steve said. Sorry, Steve. I thought you were throwing a 1/4. That's my bad. But Steve caught a fish that cold. Would you guys who were watching us would have bet that we would have even caught a limit? Probably not. But we did catch a limit. And then Steve caught one that cold a fish. And it was enough for us to win. Shaky heads, there's a good strong shaky head bite happening even better on Lanier right now. It's getting up. That shaky head bite was. I figured that shaky head bite out Tuesday afternoon, what exactly I needed to do. And we did it, and it worked. And yes, what Steve said right there, we had the only limit. We had the only limit. Granted, since Steve is watching too, and Steve's sitting here watching, Steve sets the hook on one right after I turn the camera off. I drop the phone. I grab the net. It comes up. I go, it's barely hooked. The fish moves and goes the opposite direction, comes off. It was probably a 2.5 pounder, 2 3/4 pounder. It would have went a long way with what we had in the boat at that time, by far. We lose it. But did me and Steve get discouraged? Steve's watching right now. He can comment. I didn't get discouraged. Did you, Steve? Me and you kept put our head down. We kept fishing. We had the only limit. We won. Some days in fishing, that's the way it goes. That's how things sometimes happen. I have an excellent shaky head rod, whether it's a Cashin or a FX for you, Tyler, if you want to come see me. I'll set you up, dude, while they're on sale. Just come see me. A lot of times that I have learned over the past several years in my fishing experiences, putting your head down and just not necessarily putting the blinders on, but recognizing what you need to do and then going to do it, which is catch fish. Those are the kind of blinders that you need to put on. Fishing is one of those things that it's one of those games that it's real mental. It can really mess you up mentally. It can make you feel good. It can make you feel bad. It can make you feel like you don't know what the hell to do. It's a game of decisions, reactions, and timing is bass fishing. Even the best of the best, sometimes they don't make the right decisions, they don't time things right, and they don't execute right. Even the best of the best, the elite of the elite. If you think for 1 second the pros go out there and they just catch fish left and right, they don't. Go back and look at tournament results. They don't just go out there and catch limits left and right, because they don't. Sometimes they, just like us, they struggle. Yes, Tyler, I'm up there tomorrow. I'll be at the store tomorrow. We need to do a show on reading sonar and charts to identify what fish are relating to and how to find that stuff on charts. My unit is pretty much an expensive temp gauge. You subscribe to the Patreon, Josh Tatum. We might go over that soon. To the Fish North Georgia Patreon, which is available, which is out right now. You guys can join up if you're interested. You get to get some real in-depth, real heavy stuff from yours truly. The biggest thing that everyone seems to love right now is the lake breakdown map, the lake map breakdown. I pull up a sea map and we go over the lake breakdown for time of the year too, especially. I'm not going to be talking about what to do in July of next year right now, because that's irrelevant. We're going to talk about right now. So, you know, in terms of fishing right now, you know, my biggest advice to anybody who's fishing, my biggest advice is to put a couple things on the deck, put a couple things in your kayak, whatever. I'll send you guys a link, Josh Tatum, Dylan. So we've got 3 different levels. We got $5, $10, and $15 a month. Not expensive at all, but you get access to a bunch of stuff that, you know, I think if John Allred is watching, he can reiterate this. You guys that are interested in the Patreon, when I'm done here in a little bit, I'll tell you what, you guys send me a message on Messenger and I'll send you the link to how to get into the Patreon. And that goes for anybody else who may be interested. Just shoot me a messenger, or if you're going to come by the store or something tomorrow, where is this witchcraft you speak of? It's on a Patreon app. So you guys message me. All of you guys, listen up real good. All of you guys that want to know about the Patreon and want to know about some of this stuff that I've got going on with the Patreon app, I'm trying to put out about 1 to 2 videos every single week. The Patreon's only a couple weeks old. It's not very old at all. Probably why none of you guys have heard of it yet, because we just finally really get started on it. I think I have 6 or 7 videos out right now, and it's only been going for about 4 weeks. I'm pretty much putting about 1 or 2 out a week right now, exclusively to the Patreon. So message me after we get done, and I'll send you guys a link, or you come by the store. I can set you up in the store and show it to you. So, but if it's easiest, just message me, send me a message. There's Kurt. He's the guy. He done our table for you guys that watched the live well last week. He did our table, the new table that covers up. You know, we have a table that's like this. He did the table. he does the elite level, which is the $15 one. The $15 one gives you access to everything, but the $15 one also lets you have a Zoom one-on-one meeting with me, and we get to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Talk about girls, talk about fishing, talk about whatever. You got a tournament coming up, we'll talk about it. I'll tell you what I think I'm gonna do. Do we get a make angling great again hat? We might. That might be something we might can do. we might do something like that. Um, so the videos on the Patreon are anywhere from 25 minutes to an hour. Turn Patreon on. You can put your headphones in. You can sit on your laptop, whatever. Sit on your phone. You download the Patreon app on your phone, and you can take them anywhere you want. It's just a one-time, every single month, a monthly thing. It's kind of along the lines of what we're trying to do with it. It's similar to the Bass University. Trying to get you guys whatever kind of knowledge to help you guys. But the elite level is well worth it. You get a one-on-one Zoom meeting with me or FaceTime meeting with me, or you can come up to the store. Kirk's come up to the store before, and me and him sat down in front of the CMAP, and I think he enjoyed the hell out of it when we did that. So, he's fishing the ABA this year as a back boater. So, he's learning. He wants to learn. And I'm just doing everything that I can to cut through as much black tape as I can to help him out, help him cut through some of the things that I took me years to learn how to do. Because, I can't reiterate this enough, guys, I didn't really have somebody really totally like teach me a bunch of stuff as I was growing up fishing. I had to learn a lot on my own. And I don't think I'd be the only one to say this. If I had more people teach me some things, I probably would be a lot farther along than where I am right now. You guys that want to check out the Patreon, though, just hit me up and I'll get you set up with it. And by all means, not going to twist your arm, but there's good stuff on there. I'm going to be making one probably tomorrow night. This is the first year fishing and I'm having a friggin' blast. Excellent. And that's always great to hear, Derek. I really like hearing people say this is the first. I haven't been fishing very long and I've been having some success. That's wonderful. I love hearing stuff like that. It's great. As a community, teach me, Yoda. No, farmer, you're an idiot. Me and Farmer, we bug each other all the time. He was bugging me on the live fishing the other day, and I wouldn't listen to him. On the Patreon, we might have some guests. I haven't had anybody that wanted to be involved in one yet. So, come to the store. We'll record a Patreon video and put it on there. So, by all means. But if you guys want to know about it, want to learn more about it, just message me and I'll send you a link and you can get signed up for it. There's videos on there right now already ready to watch. So the minute you subscribe, it's fishing for everyone changes. Fishing is up and down. It all just depends upon what you are. Any fisherman want to go catch a lot of fish should go to a lot of tuna. It's a good lake, and it's getting better. It's on the rise. But at the end of the day, like what Ron Swinford said, fishing is fun. Fishing is supposed to be fun. The day you don't have fun fishing, you need to find something else, like golf or bingo or poker. That's my opinion. That's why I fish, because I'm not good at any of those things. I'm decent at cards. So I appreciate you guys. I know I was saying 2 hours long. I was just going to go for about an hour. I'm at home. Come see me at the store tomorrow. I will not be there this weekend. Obviously, I've got my tournament. I got my classic, 2-day classic Saturday and Sunday. Me and Bronson Cox fishing it. Um, you know, I appreciate the well wishes and good lucks and stuff. Um, yeah, absolutely, Steve. You can throw out some folks, some names that I'd like to see. Absolutely. I have the ability on the Patreon to send all of you guys a mass message. And I can say, what do you guys want to learn? What do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to hear about? And that's the great thing about it. So, and we can get those videos done for you guys that get on the Patreon. Um, so appreciate it, guys. I appreciate the well wishes on the tournament and the good luck and good vibes and stuff. And hopefully we'll have something good to talk about. I hope we do. But guys, I appreciate the hour of your time. I appreciate it a lot. You guys are the best. The tournament is Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Thanks, Jennifer. We love you. We love all you guys at For Her Outdoor Apparel. Good luck to Peyton. The rest of her year, we will still be hearing more for Peyton and Cody, but we wish them, as always, good luck, as well as all of our other high school anglers. Appreciate it, you guys. Come see me at the store tomorrow. I'll be there about 9 o'clock until about 5. Come see me. Still got all those deals going on. Still got rods on sale. Still got reels on sale. Got a lot of stuff on sale. So come get some stuff and come chat with me. I certainly will enjoy it. So appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good one. I appreciate you watching. I hope this satisfied some of you guys' Thursday night urge. It's hard to talk for 2 hours on my own. So I appreciate you guys watching. So Jennifer said I'm coming up. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow, Jennifer. So I'll be there. You guys have a good one. I appreciate you guys. As always, stay safe. Good luck. And many fish catches. And someone catch a 10-pounder for me. I'm dying to see one. So you guys be good. See ya.